Hello YouTube, this is Joe Beast. I'm here doing another True Blood review. So what I thought about this episode, it was okay. Well, it was a bit above okay. It wasn't the greatest episode I've seen, but um I feel like this season's gonna have a lot of potential. So we start off with what happened last week when Suki found Eric in her house or whatever. And see the reason why he's able to get in because he owns the house now, so Suki doesn't own the house anymore. So he basically thinks he owns Suki, and you know Suki, the kind of character she is. She's like, "Oh no, you don't own me. This is my house." And so she still lives there, but Eric he owns it, so he lives there too. And so then we go to well, I'll just list the main events that happen because I can't remember every single thing that happens. So yeah, we find Jason. He's been kidnapped by the Were Panthers or whatever, and we find his you know ugh, Crystal. Yeah, and so he's basically being held hostage. Um, like the reason I'm saying this because like I get it, and then I don't get it. He's being held by hostage. He's being held hostage. We find out like Crystal and the other guy, her brother or cousin or whatever, they are really crazy as hell. So yeah, and by the end of the episode, we see the Were Panther transformation, which is really cool. I like seeing Were Panthers. I mean, even though kind of rip off of werewolves, Were Panthers still pretty badass. And so they're trying to turn Jason to a panther, Were Panther. We have to see what happens with that. But that's like that'll be a really good character change for Jason. Make him kind of like a main force in the show, even though he's already been a main force. Making him part of the supernatural just it sounds really cool. But I don't know if he's gonna become a werewolf or not. I really just do not know. And so as for Bill, last week we found out he was king, and now we see his pad. We see he got guards. He has special agents and stuff. And I kind of like Bill being a king. I mean, do I think it's gonna last? Who knows? But like, what can I really say? I mean, um, yeah, like Eric's and Bill's relationship has kind of changed. They still have a heated rivalry going for the what happened last season, but basically Bill commands Eric around now, and he tells Eric to deal with the witch problem that they're having now. And Tara's back, and she meets with Sookie, but I mean that was bound to happen sooner or later. So I mean, really not surprising. And we see the Jessica and Hoyt relationship kind of really take a turn for the worse because Hoyt gets jumped just for being with Jessica by these crazy vampire haters or whatever. And so Jessica tries to help him out, give him some blood so he can heal quicker. And then like Hoyt's like, I don't want none of that shit. And then she takes it the wrong way as to like, oh, her blood is shit now. But his point kind of reasonable because he says and we see it happen with Andy right now, and we saw it happen with Jason. People get hooked to that vampire blood, so it's reasonable. But dude, you got fucked up. You might need that blood more than you know. So yeah, I mean like, oh, one important thing that happened with Bill is Bill had two flashbacks. It really brings out his character. Like we saw how he dealt with the Queen, which was decent. It was all right. I wouldn't call it the coolest moment ever in True Blood, but it was all right. And the one in London was really interesting. Um, that's when he first meets the kind of spokesman for the spokesperson for vampire, and it appears he's one of her agents. So that's one of the main reasons why he became king. And I mean, that was a pretty cool thing to find out. Like the reason I'm kind of talking like this because it's kind of late, and I just watched the episode, but I mean nothing just popped out at me like last week. But what else happened? Lafayette and his boyfriend or whatever, uh, they go to the coven meeting, and then Eric basically like bust that shit up like, hey, like y'all not doing that shit around here. And so he's about to kill the main leader of the witches. Oh yeah, and what's his name had an interesting name for uh Bill. Instead of like just calling him any old type of witch, she's a necro monker, something like that. It's really cool, and we really saw the power of the witches. Um, started chanting some kind of crazy language to Eric, and it made Eric run away. And so yeah, Suki's driving back home after waiting for Eric and Fantasia, and he never came. So she finds Eric on the side of the road, and basically Eric is oh, Eric lost his memory, which was I mean I read a little bit of the book, but it was just way too. I don't know. I think that book is aimed more towards females more so than males. I really couldn't. I mean, I couldn't keep with it. Like I couldn't just keep reading it. But I read that far, and to be honest with you, I thought they completely abandoned the following the book, but they're still keeping true to some of the stuff that happens, which surprised me really. And I mean that's that's all I can really remember off the top of my head. That really moments that stood out. Um, like I said, excuse me. Like I said, I mean it was like I'll call it more of an average episode. Like I'm glad I saw it, but thing that I really liked about the episode was Bill's flashbacks. I thought they were pretty cool, and I know this sounds bland and uninteresting, but I'll be honest, like the episode really did, like stuff happened, but it wasn't very exciting. Like it felt like a real setup issue kind of thing, and well, I guess one more point worth mentioning. At one point, like vampires in True Blood can really like tag human, like not tag humans, but like show ownership, kind of not slavery, but it warns every other vampires like don't mess with this one. She's mine. She or he is mine. And so basically nobody owns Sookie anymore when Bill used to show ownership, and Eric's trying to have ownership. And Sookie, she's like, Eric, oh hell no. But uh, Pam explains, hey, I mean, it's good to have somebody like Eric, especially Eric, who's 3,000 years old at your back because he's a strong vampire. It's not a bad idea to have him basically protect you. And she's like, what if he turns on me? And she's like, hey, you gotta take that chance because a normal vampire just come after your ass like, immediately. So yeah, that's all that I really was interested in the episode. really average. Really average. But yeah, this is Grimfield Beats 123. Comment, rate, subscribe. Tell us if you like this video. You might not like this video because it's not like I don't have as much energy as I usually do, because the episode wasn't bad, but wasn't overly exciting. Kind of just went on. It was the episode. Oh, something cool happened, but it didn't really couldn't carry the episode. But just, like, you know what? It felt like a setup episode. That's what it really felt like. So that's all I gotta really say. Comment, rate, subscribe. Tell me what you guys think. SpongeBob Beast out.